I mean, no one's gonna be on. Oh, we have to wait. No, let's just hop in.
Yeah, we're gonna hop in. We're gonna play a 3-minute tournament. We are gonna be playing an F4, F5 based repertoire. I'm gonna let the cat out. You can start the game as I climb past you.
Getting it. E6.
E6. We are Dutch players. Alright. We are playing knight f6 here, and we're looking to play a quick bishop b4 and control the e4 square.
I like that we're getting something new.
I think b6.
Yeah, b6 and b7.
We're just really trying to control this square. There's sometimes going to be reasons for a6 that I don't think here. No.
This will take us to the same thing.
Okay.
But I feel like it's easier to see the number of viewers.
Here.
Right now you have 0 viewers.
Well, that's fine. That's fine.
That seems unlikely, given that there's at least one. Unless it knows.
Maybe a5.
Do you want to learn and do c5, or we're stick with...
Well, c5 was in response to queen b3, when the bishop needed defense.
But c5 is still part of the plan.
I'm worried about d5 in response. I think these pawns are loose.
Okay, fine, a5. But then how are we getting the bishop? Then I know.
I think we're going to play d6.
It's still... There's always this little awkwardness with... Yeah.
d5. I'm going to play d6.
And hope they don't see d5.
We've got a lot of pieces on here, so they can never move them out of the way and trap the bishop. If d5, I think we're probably just taking it and then taking on c4. Alright, this is a reasonable kind of setup from them.
We're on f3 right now, so...
We're on f3, alright, so they played rook f1.
Yeah.
I think we're going to need c5, rook c8 at some point. And try to play against their king. Counterplay. We played a game earlier today where knight d5 was a key move once we had c-file pressure. So we're going to hope to achieve something similar again.
Do you have 103 lifetime viewers?
Lifetime count, yeah.
I feel like...
I'm not supposed to comment on that, then people will know.
People can just look and see.
Shh. I think rook c8.
Yeah, I mean, there's just going to be the question of how real it is.
How do we meet g4?
I think we're taking. Okay, they're giving us time for things here.
Alright, so if we take, I think they're taking back knight.
What about bishop a6?
Bishop a6. Sure, yeah, the bishop's not doing much on b7. Maybe queen e7 is useful to insert, just so e6 is defended after cd4, knight d4. Alright. So we can take, we can't play g6. We can play something like, no, it seems like.
Okay, so they're threatening g5.
They're threatening g5 and bishop h7. Therefore, that's annoying.
g6, I mean, it's definitely asking for it.
It's definitely asking for it.
But
I'm not seeing a better move, so. If they play g5, knight e8 can come to g7, I guess.
If we take on
Tough
g4
position.
and they take back with knight, we can play knight c5 and cover e3. e6.
That's a reasonable point. I still think I'd like queen e7 at some point if we get it.
And then we can play e5.
Yeah. So, that's the hope and the dream. But this is a tough position. Their f3 g4 plan is definitely very scary. g5 knight h5 might not be impossible either, because then I can still come back to g7. I'm going to play queen e7 and play it quickly, because...
We're now on f4, though. I mean, on c4.
d4 and c4.
Yeah, so I think that we should consider just taking on d4 and then playing for c4.
Yeah, I would like this as well.
Well, we're just going to have... Okay.
Knight e8.
They have
can also
bishop
go for it with
takes,
CD4.
and knight g6.
We can take f1 with check. Maybe knight g7.
Yeah, let's play quickly. Let's do it.
Okay. Yeah, good call. I always forget about the time. If d6, maybe knight e5. I think knight e5. Then we give up d5. Maybe knight e5 here. Yeah, let's make it fast. Queen h6, knight f5. And then queen h7 maybe? Because if they move the queen away, we suddenly have discoveries.
Also bishop c4.
Okay.
Maybe rook g8.
And then f5 hangs. Trying to keep everything together. Okay. They had a knight f8. They missed that. Okay, gotta go faster. Oops. Oops. Alright, too slow. Too slow. It's always the problem playing Blitz. Follow for a follow.
No.
I'm not
They want you to follow them.
it's one of those follow back things.
And we're not going to do that. We're not
It seems like it'd have to find someone. That seems difficult.
But we will see what this person is about.
Alright, you'll go research
Control
them.
or command?
Control.
Okay.
Alright, so we're playing e6s today. All about e6. I'm going to go for a Rubinstein French if given the chance against the advance. Play knight c6, queen b6, try to put pressure on d4. Probably knight e7 to f5 coming.
It's like just Christmas videos from what I can tell.
Okay, not for us. Alright. Now that they've played bishop c2, that defends d4, but I feel like their bishop has spent an extra tempo. So if they trade on f5, they are a tempo down compared to alternate lines of knight c3. I think bishop e6. Seems like things are defended.
How do we get here?
French. Advanced French.
Do I play d4 after d4?
No, I just played the French.
You just voluntarily played the French.
I voluntarily played the French. Ben is disgusted.
If they play knight c5, we can take on d4.
Do they take on e6?
Knight takes e6. Bishop takes pawn.
You know, you're right. I just assume people play safe moves, like an idiot, like a fool. Alright.
This was a pawn sack.
It was a pawn sack.
So knight c5 at some point.
Yeah. Though sometimes we can take and just be happy. Yeah. And then slowly contest the c-file.
If they play queen c2, we can almost take on d4.
Gonna hope to improve my pawn structure. Probably play h6 at some point. Yeah, why not? Maybe dream of knight a5s. Knight a5 is not quite working.
We can take the pawn.
Take on d4. Yeah. And if they're generous, they'll move their queen to c3 or f3 soon. Or g3, I mean. c3 or g3. Or somewhere that allows knight e2 takes f4. We're also close to having back ranks here.
There you go.
Alright. Well, they were indeed generous. And we got a win in the books due to the mighty French.
We're pretty deep in this tournament.
52nd. It's not the highest rank you could dream of. But I think we're not too many games behind. Like, we didn't start too late. So we're going to be playing f4. Going for knight f3, e3, b3, bishop b2 type systems. they play c5 and knight c6, we'll stick the bishop on b5, very similar to what we did in the first game as black. And just looking to control this square. I think I'm going to occupy it. And then d3, knight d2, I think.
Yeah.
You can also go crazy with g4, g5, but I see no reason. Can also take on c6. And then bring the other knight over. I think f. The e5 pawn's very controlling.
Queen takes knight.
I was going to play queen g4 anyway, I think. So, helpful to get the confirmation. d4, I probably have to play rook g3, queen e5 defends everything. So this might have been a little silly. That's precise.
Can we chase the if rook g3, queen e5, knight c5.
Knight c4, queen f6, rook f1.
Yeah.
Yeah, good point.
And then queen h6. And then rook bishop c1. Oh no, the pawn's still
But
blocking.
we've fully activated our pieces in that line, yeah. Knight c4 to d6 looks reasonable. Can also just take.
Yeah, let's take.
I'm going to guess rook fd8. No, rook a8. That's my prediction here. Rook a8, and then the bishop moves and they get pressure on c2.
I'd love to have time for bishop f5, bishop c5, but I think they probably have a discovery.
Yeah. I'm assuming bishop, say, d5, something like that.
Turning into the prediction
Bishop
wizard
c6.
here. How many in a row can you get?
I didn't get there in time.
Rook c1.
No.
What is that rook doing on f1?
Dreaming. Dreaming. Do you ever have d5? Probably not. Yeah,
Cool.
yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
Good place for the rook.
Yep. This is all the plan. I induced this. It was genius. I think take back rook.
Yeah. You also have bishop a3 and
Well, then
bishop.
you take back pawn. Alright. Knight d6 breaks the rook's attack on the pawn. Not that it was in that much trouble.
So bishop a3, bishop c5.
Also could move the rook away and play bishop c1 to h6.
Just don't put it on f1.
Yeah, that would not be ideal. h4, h5.
You need to make a chewing sound.
Yum, yum, yum.
Is that a chewing sound?
That's as close as I come. I attempted to do accents the other day, and specifically a French accent. And I got the review, you sound like a Russian person trying to sound French.
That's actually pretty impressive.
I thought so. No one else thought so. Where's the queen go? I can even take on f6. But that's not. Yeah.
I bet takes on f6 is best.
Yeah, fair chance. Especially because I totally blundered this. Alright, now we have to think again. That's very disappointing. I'm sorry I picked such bad moves. It's okay, though. We are not even behind on the clock. So, we're okay. Queen e5, knight c4, and the bishop is has a discovery. Now we can't play knight c4 now because of queen d1, so we have to be careful about stuff like that. h4, h5 would be useful to include, also because it gives the king safety. Let's just recapture. Maybe threatening knight b5. Okay, just gotta make sure don't fall for back ranks. But the rook is defended, so maybe they can play like queen d5, because then I can't take on f8. That gives them time. Or this, yeah.
Thing.
So I think h4 is useful. Still on f8. Thinking about just king h2, but
h5 incoming.
h5 is incoming.
h5.
Or anything cute? I don't want to play queen e7.
h5.
Okay, h5.
That's like not a move worthy of time being spent.
You're right, you're right. In a tournament format, spending a while to not play.
Checkmate,
Yeah.
essentially, in one.
Yeah, not clock them. Alright. Top 40, baby.
Can you tilt this a little bit? So I can get more. Hey, look at that.
In the camera? Alright.
Great radio.
You get to see your beautiful face. Alright, so we're going to again play f4. Well known since Bobby Fischer's time as the best first move in chess. I believe he said best by test about it. Again, we'd like to see c5 and knight c6 because the bishop has its best square on b5. Now I think the bishop has to settle for e2. Now I got to be very careful about d3, knight d2 because knight g4 will pick up the e3 pawn. So I think d3 and queen e1 are both choices here. Do you have a preference? Possibly also knight e5.
Yeah, queen e1 is okay.
Okay. Queen can swing to the king side. It also means that knight d2 is playable without knight g4 winning a pawn because we can play bishop f1. I'm going to play knight d2.
Yeah, it's so awkward for pieces. But I guess we'll get tempo against the knight.
I like knight e5 now, just because it stops their knight coming to g6. They don't have an immediate option to trade. Maybe follow with the other knight to f3. Does, of course, prevent knight g4 ideas multiple ways. Knight f3 or queen g3. Bishop
Queen
h5
G3.
is also almost cute.
Queen g3.
Queen g3. If they take, we can potentially make good use of the f-file to target that pawn.
There's also bishop takes.
I think they just play f6. It's usually pawn. The pawn's just very good on e5. I think bishop h5 is very good. Rook looks trapped. So that was a good idea to have in mind last turn, and happened to come good. If fe5, I will play bishop e5. If g6 takes, and their king's blown open. No rush to take. Can we just take f6? What do they do? Because the g7 pawn's pinned. So now they're going to have to give up their queen to stop mate, I think. I guess they could play rook e7. Rook e7 is legal. True.
Just bishop e7, queen e7, rook f7.
Ah, we still do win the queen. Nice. I was just going to sit there and make a waiting move, but this is nice. Queen g5, I guess. And weirdly, we don't even have d7.
They can't take anything, so we can just play rook f1.
They can take our queen, man. But yeah, the bishop is not takeable because of queen g7. And with our active rook...
Oh, they do? Oh, yeah, they can't play. They are threatening?
And the fact that we have an extra one. This is pretty comfortable. We now have an extra rook and a bishop. I believe they can safely resign. I think they're not giving up much equity here. Can't defend e5. I'm going to try to play quick, because knight e5, bishop g6 is a mating net. So they should play g6 or g5 if they'd like to extend the game. If not. And we're top 20. The rise continues.
I think we can catch him.
I think so too.
We have gotten 3 whites in a row.
Alright. I'm going to play the avoid the gambit line, where white plays bishop b5 and pretends it's just like a normal king's pawn opening. Normally black puts the bishop on c5 to take advantage of my f-pawn being missing, so I can't castle. Now white has a kind of clear bishop g5, knight d5 plan. And with the open file, the f6 knight is especially weak. f6 is, of course, hard to defend. And now maybe queen d2 to h6 or queen e1 to h4. I think to h6. break the pin and start putting pressure on the pawn. Maybe the other knight can come to f5. I can also take on c6 because they have to take back pawn.
Yeah, we can play queen c3.
Queen c3.
But I guess they get the same pressure.
Queen c3 looks good to me. I was thinking bishop c6 because if queen c6 we have knight e7. Can play knight e7 and then take on c6. Win a pawn.
Yep.
Of course, if knight takes, they lose their queen. And our queen is a pretty strong attacker. a4?
a4 and then rook a3.
Yeah. They'll probably play rook d6. But I don't think the rook is a great defender because we can play a5.
Maybe queen c5. It's a little harder to move the rook.
But they could go rook e6 or rook d7, and I don't want to make another queen move, I don't think.
Okay.
I'm just going to come back. Still planning to play rook a3, maybe knight d2 to c4. Okay, I'm not worried about rook c6. I think that is not where their rook will need to be to defend this. Maybe queen a5. A little hard for them to defend. They're just fleeing. And now I'll come to c5 and pin the rook. And maybe knight h4 to f5 in some universe.
Rook c3.
Do we want to give them a4? They're going to play rook c6 anyway, though. Maybe b5. Just keep all my pawns well defended. Threaten c7. Knight h4 to f5. Because if we take with the rook, they suddenly have both f6 and h5 as potential weaknesses.
Like
that's pinned. So I'm going to leave it there for a turn. And think about coming back with the queen. Because their king's going to be wide open. I was thinking if rook h5, they had queen g4. But now they do not. So I don't see why not. Take. Still pinned.
I mean, b6 just has to be basically game over.
Yeah, b6 is definitely good. But don't you like sitting on it? Isn't the joy of chess sitting on advantages? No? Only me?
No, I mean, this is obviously pretty fun.
Let's just take more things. Can I come to f5 and hope to checkmate them someday? Where is the rook going?
The rook is now officially offsides.
Yeah. Just rook c8. I'm not getting mated. They don't have rook a1 mate. That's very important. I'll defend it. They'll come back and I'll take the f-pawns. And I gotta speed up. Simple. I bet they take the pawn, yeah. I got the ladder. Ladder is one of them key strategies that I teach. Top 10. There's hope. We're playing e6 against everything. b6?
Yeah. Maybe we should play f5.
Maybe. Let's try to get like sort of Alekhine-ish thing. Where we claim they're overexpanding.
Maybe c5?
Sure. Do you want a d6 or a d5 structure? Can delay the decision.
I almost want to play g6 and bishop g7 and get the knight to d4. Like g6 and bishop. I mean, there's still so many fools here, so maybe d6.
I'm going to be a little solid. I would like to push d5, d4, but
I guess we had. Okay, bishop h4, but not a problem.
Didn't really consider that. Looking to play probably d5. Might maybe to b4 someday. Their queen is attacked. Knight b4 back to d5, and maybe it's a little hard for them to defend d3.
Yeah.
Because if queen g4, there's always knight e3. So the queen does not have great squares. Queen g5. Okay. Can take.
It's also like a5, a4, a3. Just try to break open.
That's interesting, with my knight on d5. Alright, that's an interesting idea.
And I'm controlling the dark squares.
Yeah. If they play g5, we take on f5.
I guess we could have taken on f5.
We could have also played knight e3 last turn. We can play it this turn, because their rook and knight are now weak. I can make those red circles. I'm going to take the bishop.
Yeah.
Now the knight's still weak. And my knight actually doesn't have great ways out. Because on this square it has nowhere to run. But now it has a path out. If knight e4, bishop e4. Yeah. We're also on the rook. I'm hinting at like knight d3 or knight e2. Could also take rook. It's kind of cute. I don't think it's needed. Okay, we're now up a full rook.
Maybe rook e2?
The one worry is...
Rook check. Rook e1?
Let's make the simplest move on the planet.
Rook e1, that was cool.
Rook e1, king c2, queen b2. Yeah, you're correct. As usual. Alright. Oh, queen h2. I'm an idiot. There was a hanging rook. Alright, top three. Almas. Similar path to us. Hasn't beaten anyone over 2200. Ah. But can they fight against the mighty f4? I don't know if there's a name for f4 knight of 3b3 stuff. I'm sure there is, but I don't think it's made it into popular culture. Hopefully knight c6. Nice. Now we get our bishop to its most active square.
So
takes knight e5. We've played this game before.
Like so easy.
I'm going to play d3.
Yeah, and it's so nice that the bishop's out of the way now.
Just knight d2. Queen defends squares already. Queen h5, knight f3. Knight c6. What do you think?
Knight f3.
Knight f3. Try to induce f6 before making a trade.
Yeah.
Now we don't have e4 because f4 is loose.
We have our c5 and rook c1 plan.
c4?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to wait for them to castle first. So maybe queen e1? I kind of like e1 because it can actually swing to both sides of the board.
Yep.
If they castle queen side, rook c1, c4, and we're going to open a file there. If they castle king side, alright, so now let's play rook c1. Or c4 first?
I like rook c1.
Rook c1 to make sure we can take back c4 with the rook.
Yeah.
And keep the file open. It's also hard for them to create these plans because squares open up. So perhaps cannot exploit that immediately. Knight d4. They can't defend d6. And if cd4, cd5...
Plan. We finally get to use that. That's great.
We looked at this earlier today. We saw a line with knight d4 when we have the rook here against the king. Because if they take, we take, and we're pinning the queen. Yeah,
that's beautiful.
And we get the queen. So it's important that we're attacking the queen here so they can't block with knight c5. Yeah, that was
that's such a great move.
And so that's what the queen has to move, we get e6, yeah, and they just resign on the spot.
I like the...
Knight d4. Boom!
That's when you're talking about just leveling up, like you learn like something, because you're saying like most of the time when you make improvement in chess, you're not just finding a new move and then suddenly you're better than everyone else, or you're better than you were before, but that is
a move.
Just like finding something and just immediately playing it and winning.
Yeah, so now no one all that close to our score is on fire, though these two are kind of scary. So if we can just get paired, we're in great shape. But Damn, that was a good one.
That felt good. That felt good.
All right, we're sticking with this e6 nonsense. Looking to play f5, knight f6, bishop b4. It's too strong. Ben's just laughing.
That felt so good.
It's amazing when you look at an idea and then just immediately get to play it.
Yeah.
So the one tricky thing is, what are we doing against this bishop g2 stuff?
We didn't actually look at this.
We have not looked at this. I think we should play d6, knight c6, and e5. I'm going to start with knight c6, because if they have to play knight f3, maybe we can play b6.
I'm worried that they're going to have d5 and like
e5.
shut down the e6 square, and this is not going to really work for us.
We can also play bishop c3 and knight e4, because their bishop has no way to save itself.
Yeah.
We're not giving up the two bishops. And I think I'm going to play d6 and treat this like a BOGO. Give them the pawns?
Sure.
d6? I don't think b6 is safe.
Yeah.
So you're still worried about d5. It should be. You keep the bishops here. Queen f6 looks like a useful square. They're building e4. Very reasonable. I think I want to take. But I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm going to take. I don't like allowing e5.
Maybe just rook e8.
Yeah, rook e8. Thinking about e5, d5, bishop f5, but of course it hangs the queen, which is a slight problem. So I'm going to move the queen. I don't allow knight g5. I'm just going to play h6.
Okay, what about knight a5?
Knight a5 should definitely come at some point, but also like e5 really has threats of bishop f5 in the air. Like we move the queen, we're on that, and suddenly e5 can have bishop f5 to follow. Might be an idea. Rook f4 could be annoying actually. Our queen has to go to like some ugly square. Alright, so they're probably playing bishop h3 next.
Well, we can take on f3 if they move bishop.
True. So I think I'm going to start with queen f7. Sort of eyeing this, maybe swinging out to here. Can play knight a5. Yeah, let's see how they defend that. Also, sometimes we have bishop c6. e5, d5, the rook defends the pawn.
Yeah, I like that.
I'm going to give ourselves a square because I'm not entirely sure what to do, and I think it's important to keep making moves.
So they don't really know
Bishop c6, rook e6, rook e6, queen e6, bishop f3. I think it's okay. And we'd get c4 at the end if we don't get other things. Alright?
It's just a pawn, though.
Yeah. So they can't take that. Therefore, we're going to get two pawns, probably. It's nice that our bishop's defended by the knight, so that if they play like knight g5, when we take it, they don't open up on the bishop.
I think we're going to have something like we can take on f3.
Take on c4.
Yeah, so after we take on c4.
Or no, should we insert rook e1, knight e1? No, you want to take on c4.
Yeah, and the plan will be take on f3.
Are we taking back queen or bishop? Queen?
Queen.
Keep the diagonal under control.
If they take on... They can't take anything now.
Yeah.
So they're thinking of queen c8. Let's get the knight back in the game. Can we play like knight b7?
I want queen e4.
Knight b7, knight c5.
Alright, knight b7, fine.
Like it's hard for them to move the knight. Okay, great. That's easy. We like this.
And then knight c5 defends their best invasion square on e6. We're also threatening queen e4 check, which would be game ending.
Keep moving quickly.
That is terrible. Queen d5, queen f7, okay. Maybe you should just play queen f7 myself. Yeah, because I'm on f2. So now they have to worry about f2, so probably like f4, then maybe queen d5 if...
Quickly.
Alright, start pushing the majority when in doubt. Maybe I should be trying to get my own queen to d5. Can't now. Might try to get it to e4. True.
C pawn.
True. Very true.
Okay, great.
But,
no, that's not okay.
yeah.
Alright.
We should probably
Price-
play knight e2. Holds on longer, but I'll play b5, b4.
Yeah.
Alright, now we're soon going to have 5 passed pawns, which is, you know, technically probably enough to do the job. Knight b4 there was better, but we'll play it next turn. Always take towards the center. Key strategy. Alright. This is a lot of pawns. I don't know if I've had this many pawns very often. Not even going to play
You might just feel a checkmate with just pawns.
Yeah.
Yeah, here comes checkmate with just pawns.
Yeah. The pawns. But we took a long time on that game. So, ooh, scary.
new
They've been
challenger.
berserking. And I don't think we can berserk while talking. Maybe if it gets closer to the finish and we have to.
I think we're going to get this guy next. Yeah.
Okay. E6 exclam. No one transposed to the friend. And we give them more chances to play knight c3. Alright, they're delaying it. I think we're still going to try bishop b4 check. Going to treat it like a BOGO. I think queen e7. But I could also play
it's
a5 or
definitely
c5.
yeah.
And I'm not sure which way to go.
Let's do queen e7. It's just as... It's a nice place for the queen anyway, in a lot of things we're going to do. Like, we've been talking about playing queen e7 in, like, all of our lines.
Yeah, though often it's better on e8. Okay, trade and go for e5, I think. Because they don't have any pressure against f5, which has usually been the reason we don't go for this kind of scheme. Or one of the reasons. Another is that our bishop's over here.
Then...
d5, I think knight b8. I kind of want to play a5. Is that crazy?
No, let's do a5.
Because I don't want to play bishop d7, because I think the knight's often going to reposition through there. Alright, bishop e6, not the greatest move. Is f4 fun? Want to try f4?
Sure.
Or is it too much? They get c5 check, I'm not scared of that. f4?
Yeah.
They might get e-file play, but... Like, e takes, we take back, they play rook e1.
We can play knight h5 and go after that pawn. It's a little annoying.
Alright. Maybe d8.
We can also play a4.
We have like this e6 to c5 square now, if we want.
So rook e1's going to happen first. Okay.
Shit, I walked into knight g5 or knight e5. Still not too worried. They don't have bishop e4. The knight actually does a really good job defending all the squares they need.
I'm tempted to do knight e6.
Yeah, I like that too. Try to just pile up on the e-file.
Maybe take on g3 when we get a chance here. Oh, that's a little annoying. King h1? King h8?
Sure, yeah. You're right, maybe we should have inserted a4, but I don't know where their queen's going to go, and it might have a useful thing to do. Take on g3? Let's insert a4 first.
Wait, there's also a knight d4 and f3. Is that useful?
I'm going to insert a4. See what happens. See where the queen goes. I wish my rooks were connected.
Maybe knight g5 and
Knight f6.
So I meant knight g4 and like queen h5.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was possible.
And
Maybe just take back pawn. That's so terrible. I'm going to take back pawn. I want to keep pieces on the board. We have some attacking potential, and I don't want to lose that. But it does kill our f-file. Maybe knight h3 check's coming, though they can play king f1.
This position's about to get ugly for us.
Yeah, for sure. Let's do it this way. Trying to play rook d8, which would pin something, but we are not getting my dreams. Looking at d3.
If they move the knight, we can play queen h5. You're right. We have a... Oh, rook d3.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, totally blanked on this move after having prepared it. But
they almost can take our knight. But I guess we can always take back. Right, because they could have taken the knight and almost played...
Okay, I'm just going to stay up a piece. Their pawns are good, though, so... And we're not getting mated.
Close,
I don't
close.
think. Let's play this way.
Rook at king f8.
Yeah, presumably.
We can almost trap their rook.
Ooh, yeah, but we do need to take back king, otherwise we lose f6. Because knight f6 would
Let's
kill
take
the
the pawn.
retreat. Yeah.
I was thinking the other pawn, but this is cool.
I'm greedy.
Don't move the knight to e4 if he takes the pawn.
Oops. Gotta go fast. Threatening knight e5.
It's almost a good pre-move. Rook b3. Threaten checkmate? Oh no, yeah, not quite, not quite.
Trying to make sure everything is solid.
It's gonna go, okay.
Don't know why I gave up that pawn, but...
A rook check, maybe.
Alright, now... Hoping they go to g6. They did not oblige, quite sensibly.
Let me just take the pawn.
I gotta go fast. Alright. Can you move a little farther away? Sorry. Now they can't approach the rook. I can make a queen. Alright. Efficiency.
Yeah.
It works. That should put us in good shape. Alright, Therese though. And Kite can catch us. Kite has won all their games. Including 2 berserks. Alright, we have time for at least one more game. I don't think we should berserk. We really want the 4 points from a win. But maybe if we can hopefully get a quick
there's any
game.
reason. When you're like ahead, you're not. There's never like a real reason to berserk.
Yeah, especially when you can play a move like f4. This is going well.
This is going well.
This opening has done us good work.
Maybe we'll just get the victory in 10 seconds. Oh, this person's just burning clock.
Alright.
Playing a stone wall.
Probably should play bishop e2 first. But we're going to go for the e4 break or the c4 break eventually, but probably e4, I think. If it's at all feasible, it would be very nice. Can bring the queen.
They've learned the maneuver with the bishop h5.
Okay.
It's just not a useful move for them, really.
No, the knight's now a target, but it is defended. Trying to play quick. Now I think I do want to go for c4. Okay. I'm going to avoid trades. Does that seem okay to you?
Do they have knight d4?
They do. Then I will play bishop d1 and lose pawn. Yeah. Now I won't lose that pawn.
Can you get all the rest of the pieces? Like king h1, knight g1. It's going to be tough to get all the pieces back to the background.
It's going to be tough, but I can try. I can try.
And then, yeah, knight g1,
Knight b1, yeah.
The queen's kind of... Okay, this is good.
This is good. This is good. I got the queen on the king starting square.
No, because how are you going to get a piece to a1? That's the real trick.
Ooh, that's far away. I don't know.
You're going to have to play bishop b2, bishop a1.
Let's get the knight out, bring the queen out, but only so I can prepare knight b1 without hanging my queen.
Knight b1's actually a useful move.
Yeah.
Like knight b1. Oh, we can play this.
We're going to start moving forward. We also have c4 available for our knight.
That's the wrong direction.
I know. I play ridiculous chess sometimes.
Okay, makes it easy. I was like, where are we going to go with our pawns? Interesting.
I like that we could make another retreat to the back rank. Just one more for, goodwill. Okay. Can kick. And now I'm gonna bring pieces to the G file. That seem reasonable? We have H6 defended. Guess we should keep H6 defended.
Yeah.
Maybe bishop G5 next.
Okay, stuff.
I still think maybe bishop G5 next. Maybe knight D3.
E5. E5.
Yeah. Put this first. Now E5's definitely pretty loose. Okay. They disagree. F4, man.
Yeah, let's get
Alright, so if we get a game quickly, we will be able to get in the final game. And if we win it, unless some very quick berserks happen, that should lock up the tournament for us.
Do they want us to get kite 1993?
Ooh, that'd be a good game.
I love just seeing all the 4s in a row. It's a nice feeling.
It is nice. I hit the 0 at the start, but it was too slow that game. We sped up a bit. I'm going to pre-move E6, because that's what we're playing today. It's weird to pre-move E6 and have only played one French. But alright, everyone playing the advance. They seem to have intents. I feel like we should look to undermine quickly, though maybe they just castle. Alright, I'm just going to play really boring chess for a moment. But also make sure we don't walk into, like, weird gambit prep.
It's hard to maneuver the pieces out.
Yeah, can bring the knight to G6. Feel kind of bad about it. They can have their pawn back.
It wasn't
obviously they've gotten a nice position out of this this line.
Maybe knight H4. Let's try to swap our knight.
I like our knights though. I just want to swap our bishops. And I have been given an opportunity. If bishop b5, I'm delighted to play bishop d7, I think. But it can leave e6 quite weak with e-file play. Because they should definitely be looking for e-file play.
Oh.
I heard oh and thought you were saying, like, there's some key move, there's a big move here, get excited. If we could move the knight and play e5 without hanging f5 and get our pawns rolling, I would be delighted. We don't want to move the knight here because e6 is weak. Is queen b6 at all annoying for them? Actually, I can play knight d3 and e5. I like that. Find a way to get the pawns rolling. I'm always happy finding kind of two-move sequences that fix strategic issues, like our sort of backwards e-pawn. I feel this was a good one because now we have quite a nice pawn center. Probably looking to play d4.
Maybe c3.
Yeah, maybe c3 undermines. But I don't want to play e4 because I give up the dark squares. Like, this pawn is the most important pawn to kind of leave where it is, because it gives white all the squares. They should probably come to c5 anyway, but... Or in, like, f4. So the knight covers that. Right, I'm going to prevent that, I think. If bishop b4, just rook e8 probably. Maybe rook f7, but probably rook e8.
We want to play this.
Yeah, I'm excited to play d4 anyway. Shame bishop c4 doesn't win a rook on f1.
If they take on d4 with a knight...
Oh, we're pinned.
This we can just...
Oh, we can just take on b3.
Check.
That's check, yeah. Huh. Alright, blundered. Does knight f4 do anything? No. Bishop c4? Yeah. Tempo. And that was same against knight d4, I think, right? Now we win the full piece, I think.
Skill.
Alright, no active chat today, that's a shame. Not many viewers. But it is the day after Boxing Day, and everyone knows what a big holiday that is.
You know why they call it Boxing Day?
What?
Do you know why they call it Boxing Day?
I do not, tell me.
Take a guess.
It's when you clean up all the boxes from Christmas?
It's true.
Is it?
You box up your gifts.
Huh.
It's not because you go boxing. Like, boxing.
Okay. Wondering where their queen's going to go. They have to keep the knight defended. They don't have a lot of great squares, I don't think. Like, if queen e4, maybe bishop d5, followed by f3, starts, really creating weaknesses in their camp. Maybe that's not the right rook.
If they take, you can always take the pawn first and check.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Do I even want to? I might rather take, like, c2. No, you're right. Because I have two different ways I threaten to invade. Yeah. Good call. Knight f4 also in the air.
When we get another game, it's going to be hard.
Alright, I think we'll call this one.
You don't want to just try to sneak in another game. I guess 3 minutes pretty hard.
Yeah.
Let's look at the alley game.
Follow what they're doing. Is there... Oh, did I just get rid of it? Okay, top games. Almas?
No, Ali's the guy.
No, okay. Ali 73. Alright. So if they berserk this one and win, they catch us. I don't think they berserked. So we got one of them Trompowskis with h4, where white tries to open the h-file if black takes with the knight. And white tends to, go very aggressive. This seems strange to me. I don't know why you wouldn't insert g4. White's going to expand on the king side anyway. I prefer black in this position. I think the b-file...
Yeah, but they got the bishop pretty much locking it down.
Yeah, it's interesting because there's never b8.
Bummer.
Bummer indeed.
It looks like our Tata guy is gonna get the W here.
Gonna hold them, which is what we want. Knight d5, that's cute. Alright. Queen f4 sadly can't drive the king to... If the king g8, there's no rook discovered check. Queen c5 also might have been interesting, because white's just up a rook, so it should look to trade.
So weird.
Yeah, this is a strange maneuver. f4, f5 makes sense. The bishop and pawn are pinned. Why not f5 immediately? Everything was pinned. It's still pinned. I guess there's no risk of this, but there's no even checks besides bishop c4.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that secures us the W.
And did we get there? Did we get there? Boom! Kite at the end presumably kept trying to berserk, and that dropped off their
What
window.
about this alley guy berserking 62% of the games?
Ooh, that's strong. Yeah. Yeah, so they managed to drop 4 games and still put up a really good score.
Maybe berserking is...
Berserking's pretty good. They got a lot of bonus points. And you'll notice they berserked more when they weren't on a streak, right? They did berserk twice when on a streak, at least twice. But, see, they got 4 here. They didn't berserk at the end. They didn't berserk... I guess that's not on a streak. But it probably mathematically is better to berserk when not on streaks.
Yeah.
Because you want to try to maximize your maximum number of points. And if you're not streaking anyway, often you're going to be paired down there too. Alright, shall we call it a stream? Or would you like to keep going?
What's playing right now?
Alright, we could play 1 minute, 3 minute, there's a 5 minute, 3+2 winter marathon. We're not going to be doing that. Could play, can't play these. I don't know how to play Horde well, or at least...
What is Horde?
Horde is the one where one person gets a normal setup, and the other person gets, like, 32 pawns. It's an interesting game. And so it's whoever takes... Either the pawns take the king, or the king side, the side with the normal setup, takes all the opposing pieces. And there's some really interesting thoughts of... Because the pawns come up in a, all defended and blockaded, at some point early on, you're going to have to give up a piece for 2 pawns to start trying to create open lines. And having a sense of which and what way you want to sacrifice pieces to open lines, I think, is really critical to going from being terrible at it to being kind of okay.
Do you want to fire... Let's do the hourly Super Blitz.
Super Blitz. Do one more?
Yeah, I think the 1-0s we're just not gonna really get anything out of those in terms of.
Yeah, I think the 1-0s would have to be. I try to play fast and you talk. Though I do try to commentate 1-0. Okay, you want to be involved in the playing. Yeah, that makes sense. All right, we are currently the top seed, though I expect more people to join. Shall we stick with our unstoppable repertoire?
Should we berserk the first game?
Ooh, the first game is done by rating. So we will have, if we're still the 1 seed, we will be playing the 2 seed in the first game.
Okay, so if we lose,
which is why some people do the strategy of joining immediately after everyone's paired, because then you'll be automatically paired with whoever joins next after you, and you're much likely to get a lower rated opponent. Well, if you're high rated and you join at the start like we have done, we will get paired with the 2 seed, which is...
not what happens.
Huh. It is what happens, but they got confused. Alright, so we're playing e6.
Who got confused? The program got confused?
The program got confused. Well, Gomez at 2200 joined at the last moment. Alright, bishop c4 is not particularly good because my pawn on e6 just controls the square it's looking at.
I mean, there were like a bunch of players ahead of number 22 here.
I think I want to play bishop d6. There is some threat of sacrifices, and I want to be able to play h6 at the right moment when they don't have strong sacrifices. I can also insert knight b6 to make sure e6 is defended. Maybe I should have done that last turn. I think I will insert it here. No, h6. I don't believe. If they have to retreat, I want to be able to get tempo on their queen. And if they go to h3, I think that's just not a good square. If knight f8, I think I trade queens.
Yeah.
They've gotten 2 pawns.
Do we have this threat here?
For a rook, a bishop, and a knight.
Yeah, I think this is nice for us.
Which, if you use kind of traditional evaluations of pieces, you would think white is up a pawn here. I remember reading a book by Eric Kislick where he talks about b6, maybe?
What about bishop g5, g4?
h3?
Just take it.
I like my bishops too much. Where he was talking about...
Aren't they going to get 95?
Was it too much?
It seems annoying. f4. Somehow they'd like to get the bishop out of their way.
I think 95 lets me play on 86.
c3.
Because I want to be able to get in rook f8 at some point. Yeah, c3 is good. Then they threaten knight c4. But knight c4, bishop a6, maybe. I'm going to play rook f8. They don't have knight f4, we've got that covered twice, and our rook is defended.
I'm not even sure what to do with the bishop here.
Start undermining.
So b3.
I think just take, and then take again. I'm a pawn grubber. I've always been a pawn grubber.
Checkmate.
Yeah.
Easy game.
So anyways, I think... so the evaluations programs you like Komodo use aren't like a pawn is worth 1, a knight or bishop are worth 3, a rook is worth 5, a queen is worth 9. It's more a pawn is worth 1, so they got 2 pawns. A knight and a bishop are each worth around 3.5, and a rook is worth about 5.25. So if you use those evaluations, you start to get something more like... Now I have to do math while making moves, which is always a challenge.
7.5 or 7? 7.25 versus 7.
So you get 7.25 versus 7, but the 2 bishops are also worth about half a pawn, and we got the 2 bishops. Don't we just take? Did we get them? Just develop the pieces.
Yeah, just sell the pieces and they blunder, then you win.
If knight h5, we can take on d6, they take on g3, we take on e7, they take on e2, even with check, king f2, their knight's trapped. I will take bishop.
Why did you take bishop?
Knight e5, knight h5 is annoying, because I don't have anything I can take with my potentially weak piece. And this way I just win material. Oh, their knight's not actually trapped, so it's a good thing we're on the rook. But actually, if rook e8, maybe bishop b4. But then a5. Okay, we'll just be up a piece. Feels like settling, but okay.
It's always nice when they just resign, you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, I mean, we are just up a piece in the endgame. There's not much counterplay. I think after taking on e2, they take, I should play king f2 to stop f4 or d4 against my pin d-pawn. Nope. We're playing f4. We are f4 players for life. We're not. Okay. Alright, so we don't have bishop b5, so I'll settle for bishop b2. We can also play h3, because the bishop on h5 combines badly with the pawn on g6, because they never have bishop h5. Also, we'd have g4, f5
I feel like
anyway.
you're gonna like accidentally drop on h4. You keep waving it around.
Ah, but I have to show the viewer, because they can't see my mouse.
Ah, okay.
They can only see...
Do you think 2200 is when
G4,
players
G5?
start becoming like scary and blitz for you?
I mean, I haven't played very well on Blitz on this account, I'm not sure. I think everyone's kind of scary because I play slowly while talking. But probably somewhere around there. Do we want f5? Looks like a pretend attack.
Yeah.
No? Maybe g4. There's a line in a different bird variation against a quick bishop g4 where you play like h3, g4 and just go for it. And obviously if we can achieve g4, g5, f6, they'll be down a bishop for the rest of the game.
I thought they might try just g5.
So we can play e4 if we don't want to allow e4 from them. And if they play d4, maybe our bishop comes back to c1 eventually.
Yeah, like rook e1 and then bishop c1.
Yeah. So I would be happy to see the queenside close. I think this is a better move. Pawn or knight?
Pawn.
Okay. Now our bishop potentially has access to c4, so does our knight. Not sure they do a lot there. It's a little annoying that queen a5 can always hit a2 and d2.
Maybe a4 and then knight c4.
I was thinking knight c4 to e3.
I guess that's better.
But maybe play a4 if we get another turn. But maybe not. Maybe they'd still have b5.
Yeah, I also think...
And I like getting the knight just off targeted squares quickly.
Yeah, and it's just better to use the tempo. Okay.
Fair enough.
So they're going to come to f4.
Yeah. So we might even be able to play like...
I like queen f2.
Queen f2?
No, that's not too nice. Play g3 and just hold them out of the square.
Yeah, I was thinking like we could even play g3 and then move the queen. Yeah, and if we both kind of like that idea. But we gotta speed up. As always. He says and then drops the piece twice before playing it. Probably want to fight for the d file at some point.
Yeah.
Okay, well we wanted king h2 anyway. Often to defend g3, so the queen's not tied to it.
Rook d1 next.
Rook d1 looks good. A or f?
A.
Okay. I was thinking a2 is sometimes a little weak, but we always have like a3 if wanted. They just want to swap. Interesting. I'm going to play knight g4, think about f6, and also hit e5, because I think that's a weak square. And a little hard for them to defend. Maybe they can just play f6, but looks a little difficult for them. So we can take e5, and their point is they can take e4. Alright. I don't want to allow infiltration. But I don't really see a good way to stop it. I guess take. We are pinned though, so I probably should have taken bishop. This was wrong. Alright, gotta block. Knight d7, knight d3.
You can always, I mean, we'll be...
I'm gonna rip this. And pretend this is a better endgame. Which it almost is.
King G2, King F3.
King G2, King F3, yeah.
You might have to defend pawns.
Yeah. They're going to get a quick H5.
My king is just slightly more active. I'm going to stop talking.
No, I went badly into the second. Keep talking.
I mean, King F3, King F4.
Yeah. If achievable, would be very nice.
Maybe trade on B5 to get your... Okay. Basically free your knight from defending that pawn.
Yeah.
You're going to go... Okay. Yeah.
Do we want the pass pawn? I don't think so.
No, knight taking control. Just watch out for forks.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to do. On F7.
Quickly.
Threatening knight D7 maybe. And some annoyance. King D6, knight E4 is check. Can now save this. I'm gonna try to push my pawns. It'll be close. My idea is to come to C1. They don't have B4, so they should swing a different way. 6. Okay, I have to take it. Weird. I hope they block on D4. Too slow. Alright. No good. Sorry about that. Bad to lose the third one. Much better like last time to lose the first. Because now it gets hard to go on a run. Sorry about that. I'm slow. When not in, like, playing bullet mode.
Yeah, maybe we should, at like 40 seconds, we need to move faster.
Okay. We got a Rubinstein French. The idea is we only have one knight that's going to be good on F6, and so we trade a pair of knights. Then we quickly attack their center with C5, and now we have kind of natural development. Normally castles is played, bishop G5 or queen E2, then B6. Got to avoid discoveries, but queen C7 is a nice score for the queen. Now if bishop G5, they're not even pinning my knight. So I think active development. So they did stop my knight going to D5. I could go to G4, but I don't see where... I guess I hit F2. Is that worth doing? No, I don't really think my knight has a way out after. I could ignore it. You can play H6. And then the pawn goes to F5 and the king goes to G7 and the king side's secure. I don't want to move my rook to D8 though. When it walks into a pin. I feel I've been a little imprecise here. I feel when they played C4 I should have had a way, and I got to play queen C7 without yet allowing the double pawns in F6. That my knight should have had a nice square to go to, but I couldn't find it. And I think they should return to H4, and I don't know if I have better than queen C7, and I do not want to make a draw. This I'm less worried about, because now I can bring pieces to the D file. Without, having this problem.
Knight G4 is in the air. I guess bishop G3 and they're like, whatever.
Yeah, but then maybe I can push E5. Maybe I can't. But I might be able to. So I can always throw in bishop F3 if I need more defense of it. Yeah, so like bishop G3, E5, H3, bishop F3. Okay, it doesn't matter now. Do we have bishop F3 now? No, my knight's loose. Bishop D4, knight D4, rook D4, bishop H7. What about bishop F3 and rook D4? Oh, they have bishop C5, bishop E2. Okay. They took that way. Still probably rook D4. Or do we want to avoid opposite bishops? I don't think that's a big concern here. Rook d4?
I really wish we could save this knight because it seems annoying in their position.
We could just play knight f6.
No, I like rook d4. And then queen h4.
I think I'm going to double first.
Queen h4 seems pretty strong. How do they defend that pawn?
That is right. Yeah, because they can't play f3. Yeah, good point. Okay. My doubling was a useful idea badly applied. Because we had something pressuring. I think I play kind of slow moves too often. I think that's my biggest weakness.
We could also, I think, almost have taken on e4.
Take on f2?
Yeah.
What I like here is rook d4, rook d4, rook d1. We take and get f2 at the end.
Rook f4. No. Bishop d6. Bishop
Point
d6.
gh5, queen g5 check.
Bishop d6 also a pretty cool move.
Huh, that is hard to defend. Yeah, good call.
Bishop d6. Oh, yeah.
It's simple. Alright, on the board, at what rating opponent do you think we should be berserking?
Like under 2k?
Under 2k? Wow. Okay, we'll try it. Okay, we're gonna... Alright,
Let's do it.
you said it. We're gonna go for our standard setup this tournament. Don't worry, it's not what we always
Wow,
play.
this is so nice.
We got the counter berserk. Okay.
I really appreciate it.
Now we're playing bullet. This doesn't actually blunder anything. Important to play queen e1 before knight d2 so that e3 is easier to defend. Should look to play e4 at some point.
I was going to say, watch out for some queen moves. I think queen d2 maybe, because now knight c3 and they chop the bishop, but maybe don't care about the bishop.
Yeah. Care more about the pawn, I think. Okay. I am going to play bishop d1 just to prepare e4. This was nice, though. This was nice of them. For them, I mean. So they get b3, but we open up their king
Okay,
side.
we can take on a2.
a7.
e7, sorry. Not actually threatening anything,
But we may threaten something someday soon.
f5.
Yeah, f5 I think is useful. Also maybe knight e6. I should take on a7.
Now we can check.
Yeah.
Oh, it was almost checkmate.
Oh, yeah. Knight f7? Where did they go? It's weird that they didn't have, like, blocks. I just expected them to block with something.
Yeah. This
g4.
And then you need to bring the queen back in.
And then, yeah, queen f2 is coming.
Or queen e3. I think they're getting out. Not really, but yeah, this is checkmate. Almost getting out. We'll take it though. We needed that.
Knight h6 was a decent find. I'm pleased for that one. Obviously, I'm sure there were many faster mates I missed. But
wow, this guy is on. This person just berserked the first 2 games.
2 berserks, and then they stopped berserking. Yeah, we think that's good strategy. We think once you get your streak going,
or this person just berserking the entire way.
Less prone to berserk.
Miles, chess.
But they're down 7 to Jaranga. Who I guess has gotten an extra game.
Let's berserk. Let's just keep going.
Okay. French all day, every day. I think c5 is a little more precise than knight e4 and then knight f6, but both are moves. I'm going to play the endgame. Because they can't keep the bishop. Knight g5, knight e4 is supposed to be best. I guess this gets to the same spot. Now maybe bishop d7 to c6. Knight g5, I think or rook d1, I think my king comes back to e8. I guess I want to open up e7 for my king. So I'm going to keep it centralized. Rooks come to d8 and c8. That's goofy. I don't think a terrible move, though.
No.
I would have played c3 if I was them to stop potential c-file pressure. Okay, don't give them that pawn.
Bishop e4 at some point.
Yeah. I probably don't want to take, though, because I do think the opposite bishops here is tricky. I wanted bishop b5 for e1. Do I have a move there? Probably just bishop f6. Let's just play bishop f6. Just get out of the way, stay on b2, threaten bishop b5. I'm going to play rook c6 so I can play rook d8, because they can't currently contest the d-file.
This traps a bishop. Oh, they get check here.
They will have to be careful. If I sidestep first, is that tricky? They can play rook d1. They come to d6. Right, I'm going to throw in bishop a4.
Go fast.
Alright, we are so far behind on the clock, jeez. Wasn't thinking. Right, we did win a piece, though. But they didn't really have a square to put the rook. Actually, I think this all just worked. Didn't have time to calculate it, because it was just trying to make sensible-looking moves. Still pinned. Didn't have bishop c2 because of the knight.
Still play fast.
Yep. Knight b6, rook b6, I take d3 at the end. They don't have mate, luckily. Not so much luck, but, you know, good. Gonna not pre-move this, just in case, but I should be. Yep.
Wow, that was close. I was gonna say there's no way that they would try that, but I guess with our time they would like probably consider it.
Yeah. All right. Only down 4.
The trick is to not just get paired with the people at the top, so we can
try to break their streaks, and we will not berserk if we play them because we really want to break their streaks. So we want to see Duranga or Coping Mechanism or a rematch against Alexei. Look at how many more games we've gotten in than they have, though. So I bet they're still playing. But actually, no. Alright, so we got a bunch of names we'd like to see. We don't want to see Luis. This was not one of them. Alright, we're going for it. Gotta go quick. Want to see knight c6. Because the bishop is just so much better placed here than it is on e2. Because it can fight for dominance over e5. I think we like inserting a4 here. But maybe we like inserting c4. I think it was c4. Anyways, we'll play knight e5 next. And then d3, knight d2, knight f3. And then queen e1. Assuming you're happy with this?
Yeah.
Want to keep a knight occupying as long as possible. I don't think g4 is good, and I'm going to play fast. They did achieve opposite bishops, for whatever that's worth. Rook f4. And try to play h4, h5 at some point. Does this seem reasonable?
Yeah.
Do you want to insert bishop a3 at some point? Does that seem useful?
Yeah.
But I think the rook on f4 controls a lot of the defense. Like, if they play d4, I think we play e4 and bishop c... Or we can just take. Maybe not. Queen c5 at some point is annoying. We want to keep the queen side closed.
I think I'll take. Remove, take back.
Interesting. I really want rook f6.
Move quick.
Okay. Gonna play rook f3 and try to bring the rook to g3. and pretend I have a sacrifice or to bring the rook to g5?
Now almost I want to come back to f1 and a1 and just
Swing to the queen side?
Yeah, because I don't think we actually have a lot on the king side here.
Alright. Yeah, that seems reasonable.
Just pile on this weakness.
If they ever play c4, we have bishop a3, not that they're looking to do that this turn, but it is a way they might at some point try for activity. Though I think the real response is going to likely be to try to plant our bishop on d4. Where's our bishop belong? d4. I might play king h2 next, just because that seems useful. We are only behind 20-something seconds at this point. I guess take this way. They can take c2. I'm going to take something. Open up rook b4. So if bishop takes b3, we have rook b4. I should have made that move much faster. They have queen d5. Okay. I guess centralize. Probably swing back to f1. Try to hit f7.
Yep. Checkmate. Watch out.
Right. Not the queen trade I dreamed of, but we are on b3. Maybe rook b2. Try to simplify.
Even though now I'm not so certain about this position is obviously way different.
Maybe play f5 in some universe.
Let's get our king off that file. We'll also check first. Rook g2 check.
You don't think there's any rush, but there might have been. Am I helpmating myself? I don't think so.
It's actually really good because we're getting this pawn. We weren't getting it.
They can go to g6, but then we get a6, yeah. Rook g4. Oops.
Helpmate.
Helpmate. Not so good. Well, playing rook g2 check earlier would have helped. And we got at least one of the losses we needed to see, but now it's tough. Does this commit us to further berserking?
I think so. Unfortunately, maybe we shouldn't have berserked that game.
We did have the streak, and it was, a pretty highly rated player, around 2,000.
I still feel like under 2K.
I don't know, man. It's hard to play fast. All right, so we should berserk them. Right, this is a big one. Coping mechanisms in first.
Is this a move?
It's the wing gambit. I don't know. I've never been well prepped against this, but... Interesting.
What was the point of all that?
H4, H5. Why am I playing as if we berserked?
I don't know.
You just get into a speed. I want to play rook c8, knight a5, c4, I think.
How about h6, knight h7, knight g5?
I like that too. As long as we can do some silly knight maneuver, I'm in.
I mean, our knight's on f8.
Our knight's brilliant on f8. Don't be a hater. Knight a5 to b3 is also. But I want to play rook c8 first. f4, f5 is coming, I guess. I don't know what else they're doing.
Maybe we can check on h4.
This player confuses me. I like your knight h7 though.
So not f4, right? Locking down g5. So worst case scenario, king f8.
I want a castle. Are you okay with that?
Yeah. Knight f3 incoming.
Yeah. And then king h8.
Okay.
I think I'll still play king h8.
If they play rook f3, we can almost take on d4.
f5. Suicidal.
Maybe f6.
I want to shut everything down if they don't take, though. But I guess f6
We-
would look to do that as well.
Yeah, it's just one of those get to f5.
Yeah. Alright, just gotta make sure their queen doesn't have a good square. I gave up e6. Oh no. Can take h5, but big blunder. Big blunder. Alright, they're trying to play like knight a3 or something to get to f1. I think I can just take this. Right? I don't think this is such a big deal.
Yeah.
Obviously, my queen is not in the most beautiful square, but it's actually kind of helpful if my bishop defends f8, just in case something gets there.
Maybe bishop b2.
Bishop b2? So greedy. I think I'll play bishop e7 and something to g5. I think that keeps everything proper. No threat. That's my claim. Because I want, when I take on g6, to be able to bring something to g5, not to have to go back to f8. And
I almost wouldn't even bother taking on g6. Okay, well, that's really nice of them.
No, but it makes sense, because if they're competing for first, they really don't want to extend a game they're going to lose.
True.
So I think that was a very good practical decision from that.
Somehow we jumped a spot there, right?
Yeah, I think we just advanced past them on tie breaks when Mate Inevitable lost, which means they just finished their game, which means there's a decent chance we get paired against them, because we're close. I would like Jarenga. Ooh, we got an IM. Let's see how IMs handle the mighty f4. They are 2-0 against me as well. Foiled. We don't have bishop b5, we don't have b3. Alright, so let's take it the kind of slow way. If knight b4, bishop d1. Knight d5 and e4? e4?
Yeah, looks good.
Which one? Either one concedes d4.
I would take with the knight first.
Okay, let's try to be fancy. Does leave our f-pawn kind of out there.
It's okay, our bishop's on it.
Bishop e3 drops b2. c3 drops some d3.
Let's play rook b1 first.
Okay, passive play. I love it. I hate it. Nope. I guess bishop d1.
Wait, so yeah, can we go queen d1? And if they take, we'll play play c3.
We're on the bishop.
Oh, on the bishop. Okay.
If we're gonna do it, I'd rather play bishop d1 because I think that's a useful move in general.
Yeah, bishop b3 now. Yeah.
Yeah, but this was clever of them. So c3 now hangs d3, so maybe actually your way makes some sense. Active moves. That's what I'm about. g4? Go for it?
Yeah, this is ugly.
Go for it. The claim is we have an initiative.
Yeah. Maybe queen g3 to defend the knight.
Threaten f5. I'm not sure. Thank you. Both are kind of in the way. There's the knight in better squares. Bishop f3 probably next.
IMs play moves really quickly and they feel powerful.
IMs are good at chess, man. All moves towards the part of the board that matters.
Bishop e4. Feels like we're holding, but just by some sort of thread.
I'd like knight g4. Don't mind the trade of these bishops, I don't think. I didn't see a way to avoid it.
We can take on e6 maybe at some point soon.
I cannot take that. Fair enough.
Well, we're gonna get super tied to this rook.
Yeah. Yes, we are. And they're just going to take b2 and say we have passed a pawn, but then we're going to play c3 and say...
Watch out for knight h4.
Yeah, good point.
Oh, this is terrible.
I want c3. Once we play c3, I'm excited. Why am I so excited? I don't know. I just wanted it. Can we just step out now? Knight e3. Doesn't do much. They just move.
Bishop f4, bishop. The knight's hanging with the queen f2 now. That's bad. Very fast.
Good call. Trying to play bishop e5.
The queen's hanging? Okay, yeah. Sure, it's a check.
That hangs mate. Oops, no, this just loses. Alright. My bad.
Tough.
Tough life. Alright, we are not going to follow up our previous first place with another first place. And I blame berserking. I hope we finish top 10, though. That would be very sad if we didn't. Duranga really following the berserk until you get on fire strategy, I think, quite well. Looks like Miles K. Chess is following the just berserk almost constantly. Coping mechanism, starting to berserk once they fell out of the lead.
Maybe it's a coping mechanism.
Maybe. Alright. Haven't been doing well in the Rubinstein. This is not so good. White avoids trading a pair of pieces, which makes a lot of sense, but black just gets really active squares for all of our pieces. And we're going to play c5. Bishop g5 doesn't combine well with knight g3, because they can't retreat to h4 as comfortably. One idea here for black is to play c4, b5, b4 with a5 probably at some point. Another idea is knight d5, playing against the bishop on e3, and also letting our other knight come to a good square. And we're probably going to come to f4 at some point. Okay. I'll bring the other knight to a good square, as claimed. If they take on c5, I will probably take back with the b pawn, because I think the b file is going to be more effective than the c file in this kind of position. Also, maybe look to take on e3. They can't take back rook, so bishop f4. Or now queen, they have to take back pawn, and then I get g3. Can also take on f3 at some point. Alright.
Very good.
This might have been one of my better showings of the Rubinstein. This has gone very nicely. Not a trivial position, but threatening cd4, knight d4, rook d4. Okay, I don't see what they're doing here. They cannot take, and their knight's a little looser. I'm threatening maybe rook d5. Almost threatening rook d5. Hinting at rook d5? What do you think? Shouldn't play rook d5. Teasing rook d5. Nice. I do think I want to drive them away. Their knight annoys me. They disagree. Use the opportunity to double rooks. And give my rooks not very many squares. Okay. Is f5 coming? Yes, it is. Bishop c8. I can just take back rook. I don't need to do anything drastic. Knight h7 to g5 for some reason comes to mind. I don't know. Try to slightly improve my pieces. I would love them to take. That would reduce so much pressure. If I take on f5,
They have to take queen.
They have to take queen. And then I think I double. We have h7 defended. Okay, rook e5, knight f6, gf6, queen h7, king h8, queen h8 check, king e7. I think I'm fine. I have to take here first. Don't pre-move the wrong move. Still king e7. And how much material is this?
They're on f6.
They're on f6. Queen d6, I guess that's good. Maybe the rook comes to e3 someday, or rook to g8.
I think rook g8.
Because g2 is loose. Maybe queen c6. Should I play queen c6 last turn? Yes, definitely. And should I play it this turn?
No.
Why not? Queen c6. Should have played it last turn.
Okay, rook f6.
Rook e1 check? Bishop f1? You're just going to batten down the fort? I'll play like king d8 there, I think.
Actually, just rook f2. Rook g8?
Yeah. Threatening queen f3. Also rook g2. Probably rook g2 is the better threat, because king g2, queen f3, king g1, queen g2 mate. But of course, queen f3 is, you know.
Take the rook.
So we can still play queen f3, and should.
Good game.
Their name's a little rude.
I think it's funny.
Alright, staying top 10. That's what counts.
Loci lost.
Loci did lose. Good player, though.
Yeah.
If we get them again, we're not going to play the same line against them. Good man. I was too slow. Okay. My bad. So we're going to play the line where we don't allow the gambit, because we're boring. We got this earlier. They played bishop d6, and we got nice initiative. Bishop c5 is better, stopping white from castling. We don't want to grab on e5. Black gets a lot of compensation. This is not so big a worry. Our rook's pretty good on the f-file. I feel like they have a lot of pieces hanging. Bishop, the knight, seems...
The rook?
the rook. Alright, let's take this one. Queen h4 check. No, totally missed this. Alright, so we should play check. Get the bishop off the square. And then, I guess queen f1... Ooh, they have knight h2 there. And we don't have rook f8. So queen d1, queen h4, g3. Ooh, that's scary too.
We can also go up like 3 pieces by taking the knight. Like, we're not 3 pieces.
But we don't want to take back on e2. So, okay, I'm going to play queen f1. If knight h2, I think I will play queen h1.
Watch out for the... And they're taking on c2 now.
Ah, they're getting everything.
Okay, so...
Queen f... No. I think I've got to play queen h1 now. Huh. Right, I'm so glad my knight defends f2. And that they have pawn on e5, so queen g5 doesn't grab the knight. But this got complicated real quick. Okay. Take that, defend g5. Okay, I'm going to take it, because I don't know what else to do.
Not going to take again.
Okay, your knight can come out. That's not what I'm concerned about at the moment. Now it can't.
Free queen.
Alright. This was a way too scary one. Let's take the knight. Okay.
Yeah. I think there was a good chance you took the knight that you did play like a pre-move, like rook d8 or something like that, and you could take the bishop with the king.
That's true. Alright, we're on fire in the pack, in the kind of 8th to 10th pack. Still ahead of Loki. Loki just... No? Okay, someone else just moved down, Row Federer. Alright. So if we get a win here, we could... Yeah. If we get 2 wins to close it out,
Wow.
I think we can dream of 5th. No?
Canada Calm is like just getting 5 every time.
Alright. I've already played Coping Mechanism once. Okay, we're doing the... I tend to accept Fromm's Gambits in my videos, but I am feeling like being able to make moves quickly and not have to defend every move. Bishop g5, if we get the chance. Again, I'm not too scared of knight g4, though last game was certainly scary. If they want to go g5, they certainly be my guest.
Do you take or you play some sort of bishop move?
Maybe I should have taken the opportunity to grab something. I think I have to take. Rook f1. The rook usually comes to f1, because my idea is to go bring the king to the other side of the board. But I've gotten in trouble again. So queen say e2, knight h2, bishop f2, queen b4. Do I have anything there? Probably not. I don't know. Confused. Should find something that like gets some activity and play quickly.
And maybe just queen d2 and castles. Just go up to the pawn and exchange. That seems like a lot, but
won't give up the exchange. But like knight h2, rook h2, castles, or rook h1, knight g4, castles, queens.
Yeah.
And just give up the pawn. They should insert c6 at some point because otherwise knight d5 might be a decent move for me. They don't have knight f2. They might. I mean, knight f2 is a perfectly reasonable move, but it doesn't crush. See, I thought they should have inserted
watch out for c6.
c6 first, so that I don't have knight c7. But you're right. This is just me walking into it. Yeah, this was silly. But it's a little hard for them to keep my knight. I guess they just play like bishop d6, but it's so tempting for them to go like bishop e3 check, and then it's hard for them to get my knight trapped.
Wow, interesting.
Ah, but they're claiming the knight's just trapped.
Yeah, it's a clever idea. It is just trapped.
Well, so they claim. Their claim is, of course, correct. Yeah, nicely played. Okay, we got a pawn for it. But this is a lost position, obviously. Hoping for king c3 and b4. Now h6 is potentially a little weak, but in all likelihood it is not. Okay, their pawns may roll much faster than ours. Knight e3, rook d2, and we don't have to resign on the spot. That's something.
The little things in life.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Hanging knight f2, of course. Nicely played. So the correct tournament strategy is to resign, because we need time. But
maybe f4 is not the best move. It's not as good as e6.
Pretend that a discovery actually does anything. It does not, and that was very good for them. Not that they need things to go very well at this point, but I'm going to roll with the pawns. Maybe they'll let us have the e-file, though they should not. They didn't.
Rook h1.
Rook h1, good point. Yes, much better move. Too late now. Now they can check from behind, take, and then check from behind.
Or go this way.
Or go this way. It all works.
Oh, check now we can go after the... Okay.
Yeah, alright. Can resign this one. Nicely played.
Tough. Tough.
No longer top 10. Alright, need a win to close it out. Get some semblance of something from this.
Okay.
We're not berserking. So our friend Joel against the exchange in the French. Alright, can't do the setup now, but plays this sort of c6, bishop d6, knight e7 line, and never gives white the opportunity to play bishop g5. I'm going to say we have more space, so I'll try to keep pieces on. And his other point is to play f6 and prevent knight e5, which often, with the normal setup, is something of a threat.
Mm.
G6 also very reasonable, but I feel like now I get some time coming forward.
Funny bishop placement.
Yeah, bishops aren't on h3 very often. Hoping for rook e8.
I played g3 and bishop g2.
And I may have helped them on their way.
Maybe bishop h4. Okay. Yeah.
Alright, what are the odds they sack? You want to put a bet on it?
I would say, like...
I think they're taking. Okay, I think they're taking this turn. Every turn I'm going to bet on.
Once you think about it, they're, like, definitely doing it.
Yeah.
Like, why do you think they thought about it for so long?
Yeah.
They saw that it wasn't working, and then they just decided to do it. They calculated long enough to realize it's not working, and then they're like, okay, let's do it anyway.
Yeah. People are far too excited to take pawns on h3 and h6. Except when Ferrugia does it, then it works. But everything he does works. What odds would you give him as a future world champ?
Mm-hmm.
Probably the wrong order. Should take on c3 first, but want a bishop e4 check. Now they can take back rook. Well, let's not even give them the checks.
10%?
10%? It's pretty good. Like, he's very good.
But it can't just be...
It can't be that high. It's
yeah,
very
it's
hard
still
for it
hard
to be at all high.
Yeah. With 10% seems pretty high.
I didn't want bishop e4 because queen g5 check. I'd have to calculate and never calculate. Gonna centralize all the pieces and then hope something wins on the spot.
Like rook takes c2, or queen takes c3.
Yeah.
Or any other move.
Sure. They play f takes and I play f5. Give nothing. I have a threat.
Stop it.
Alright, I think we're going to call that a stream. We won't finish top 10, even though I think we currently are top 10. But we won't finish there. Very sad, but I don't think we have time for another game. I think we'll call it a night.
Yeah.
Cheers.